Alright guys, now welcome back here at another update from the Devo Matisse from the stability test. Now, if you are asking yourself what the heck is a stability test, now in a stability test I'm actually trying to find any driving problems or weird sounds that I can find. I made a little video actually from the stability test, but suddenly my of course, my phone is pretty handicapped, and it was doing their own thing and shut it off because the battery died. What else? I had it on a charger in the car, but it's only a very low output, so only a half amp, I believe, and this phone needs more than 2 amps to charge good. Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you guys in this video what I have heard, what I have seen. Did I heard any problems or whatever? Now, that's all what I'm gonna tell you guys. All of engine stability, driving stability, all of this. Now, first of all, I was thinking that my coolant was not leaking anymore. That was indeed true, and that's because my engine was cool. And if the engine is cool, everything is cool. Now, stupidly said, Daewoo or Chevrolet decided to make plastic or hardened plastic intake manifolds. Now, our intake manifolds from the Daewoo Matisse is not only intake manifold. There's also a black blanket, actually, or, well, actually kind of a black something that blocks off one of the coolant passages. Now, once that is destroyed or corroded, well, then you got some problems, because then you get huge coolant leaks. And guess what I have? Huge coolant leak. But there's a special modification for this, and I think Daewoo already prepared itself because they knew that this was going to be a big issue. So what they have done, they've actually assembled a special kit. Now, it's in the repair manual. Just listen up what I'm going to tell you guys. In the repair manual, it says that you have to cut the intake manifold and putting that little red block on there to prevent further coolant leaks. In the repair manual says you have to cut an intake manifold. Yeah, nice. Well, Daewoo and Chevrolet, nicely done. Not. So yeah, coolant leak is of course the first thing that happened. Now, I had to buy, in the meantime, when I was driving a bit, well, bit much, I had to buy myself, of course, some coolant, so those pipes and my head gasket is not going to dry out or burn up. So, in the meantime, only with driving maximum of 10 kilometers, which is approximately 16 miles, I used already, I believe, 4 or 5 liter on coolant, which is approximately 2 gallons of coolant. Maybe a bit less, I don't know. But at least I did use double the size of the coolant in my car in canisters I already used. So, and those coolant are already gone. Now, I mean, my car is currently also sitting with no coolant in the system. This is causing, of course, by the intake manifold, well, that thing that's blocking the coolant passage. And because I have a crack in there and it's bent, the coolant can very easily pass it. Now, so, driving around with no coolant. Now, did I actually suspect compatibility problems? Yes, I did, but not happened. Everything was very, very smooth. I also have checked the timing belt, if it was wobbling around or if it was not straight. So also the V-belt. And surprisingly, everything, but really everything, looked pretty nicely. So I was very happy to see that result. Now, I mean, that timing belt could be just a tiny bit more stringed up, but I don't think this is gonna cause me any problems. I think I could drive this all day long. Now, as I already explained to you guys, I have 4 from the 6 valve guides heavily damaged. Well, 2 heavily damaged, and the other 2 are damaged as well, but lightly. 2 of them already have more than 2 cracks in it, and the other 2 have only 1 and maybe not even going through completely. Now, with this being said, yeah, the only compatibility issue is whenever I'm accelerating and putting the putting the pedal more and more to the floor, then I'm definitely gonna hear those ticking from the valve, because the valve is opening like this. Now, if the valve guides are bad, the valve is gonna do this. It's not gonna be straight anymore. So it's gonna do this actually, like a G. So a G, you know? Not from yes, but the other one. Besides that, the shifting was a little bit stiff, but that's always actually a little problem on the Matisse. Not that that's an issue, because shifting was going good. No issues found. So yeah, I mean, driving, I have to say, it was very, very good. Very, very nice, smooth. The engine, well, of course it was shaking because of the temps, and of course because of the valve guides that are cracked. So yeah, I mean, that's just finding a solution for this. And I've done that because I already ordered a blueprint for blocking off the coolant passage, which is not blocking off anymore at this moment. So I hope when that one is gonna arrive, that's gonna do actually the trick. If that's gonna be doing the trick, I can drive more distance, because I cannot do that now. That also means currently that I cannot drive on full RPM, or at least flooring the Matisse, because those valve guides are do not like me if I'm gonna do that. Now, of course, I already made 4,500 RPMs, but that's normally when I shift. Now, in this case, it was my max. It's still on the high side, but everything went fine. The driving was pretty smooth, and I have to say it was even smoother than before. And I definitely do like that. I really like it. So yeah, I mean, I could actually do several kind of things. Now, the coolant passage by blocking it off is something definitely that has to happen. I mean, it doesn't matter how I turn the tires, it does have to happen. So that's not a big thing. But the other thing is, I can do things. I can do 2 things actually. Number 1, which is actually going to be my choice, is putting another cylinder head on there, second hand, which is in a good shape. Or I'm gonna replace those valve guides where I do not have the tools from, and I don't have these pressing tools. Or I'm going to the garage, that they are going to do it for me. Those are my options. But I mean, already getting another cylinder head is gonna cost me 120 euros. And currently my budget is gonna drop more and more and more. And I mean, already because of this order that I placed for the coolant passage, I'm already below 100. So I'm currently going to limit it. Now, I hope that my coolant passage, this sounds a little bit freaky what I'm going to tell you, but it's actually a moment of truth. By blocking off the coolant passage, putting some new coolant in there, I hope to drive more kilometers to get my birthday gifts, in this case money, and maybe Christmas gifts already from the persons that I have to go to. Now currently I cannot do that because the distance is too far for the temperature to stay too low. I mean, I'm not gonna risk this. I have only two more liters, which is maybe 0.2, 0.3 gallons coolant in my car, but I'm gonna use that coolant whenever I block that passage. I'm not gonna use that because, I mean, then I can throw it just in a trash can. It's just throwing things away. But I know that I cannot drive the car all the time without coolant. At least I have to get coolant sometime to keep those pipes wet, and so my head gasket and the engine itself have at least a little bit of, well, in this case, coolant in there, and somehow a little bit of, how do you call it? Just like oil, you know, that everything is lubricated. So the lubrication in those pipes are not vanished. Now guys, currently I have made so much updates and so much videos that I'm currently on my limit here on my phone, so I'm gonna empty it again. Maybe I'm gonna buy later some other video cameras because I still have something on my eye. And yeah, as I already said, my car seems to be revived. Poorly, it's smoking sometimes white smoke because of the coolant. But definitely I'm gonna buy that AMR 300 supercharger whenever I got the cylinder head on there. And yeah, I think then we are good to go. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this update, the last update of the repair of the Matisse. And I will be back with you guys whenever, whenever everything is fixed. Anyways, guys, this was Tuning Dutchy. Subscribe, like, share, and I see you guys the next time.